Hello, good afternoon, good morning. I'm not sure when you might be viewing this, but welcome to the University of Memphis and congratulations on being a graduate TA. In this presentation, I am going to speak briefly about how you can utilize library services in your teaching in any of the classes. As an undergraduate, you may remember sometimes librarians coming into your courses and teaching, talking about, searching, using library resources. And we would love to do those same sort of classes for your students here at the University of Memphis. So I'm going to speak briefly about these things. I don't think I actually introduced myself. Hi, I'm Michael Harris. I am a research and instruction librarian, which means that my role here at the university is multifaceted. I teach classes. Obviously, I might be one of the persons who is coming into your classroom, but I also assist your students or even you with research. You might remember me if you've watched the new graduate student orientation video as well during this marathon Welcome to the University of Memphis sequence. But anyway, let's get started and let's talk about information literacy and the library in your classroom. Just to kind of give you an overview about how the university libraries works and how we're kind of laid out. There are four main, let me move this little picture so that it's not in the way. There are four main libraries here at the university. There is the big library, McWhorter Library, which is where I am recording this right now in my office. This is the primary library. It's the largest. It has most of our collections in it. It's also where the majority of our study spaces, technology spaces, I'll talk about a little bit later, are located. But it's the big building with the dome on top and the columns, and you should come and check us out if you haven't been here yet. Additionally, we have branch libraries for the College of Music, School of Music at this university. Also the Health Sciences Library, which is over on the Park Avenue campus. And as you may be aware, we also have a satellite campus out in Jackson, Tennessee, at the location of the former Lambeth College. So we have the Lambeth Library there on campus. Also, just to let you know, even though it's not officially affiliated with the university libraries, we do also have the law library that is part of the law school, which is downtown. But they are technically in separate systems, so they're not part of the university libraries as a whole, but we do have those resources available. Okay? So that's the big overview. Just know that most of our collections, including periodicals, books, technology, are housed at McWhorter Library. Next, probably the primary way in which you might be interfacing or utilizing the library for your classes is in the form of instructional services. What that means is, sorry, I keep moving the picture. What instructional services are is that we are the librarians who will come talk to your class, primarily help your class in terms of research, citation, developing topics or research questions. Anything like that is what instructional services will help you out with. Now, unlike last year when I was recording this video where everything would be remote and done over Zoom, we will be starting in-person instruction again in the fall. However, if your class is hybrid or completely virtual, we can provide instructional services via those firms as well. If you are interested in booking classes or any other questions for instructional services, please use the link below, libguides.memphis.edu/instruction/services. And you can look at the whole suite of services beyond just getting in front of your class and teaching them about search strategies or source synthesis or any of the many other topics that we are happy to talk to your students about. We will also embed into your class via the e-courseware, and we can interact with your students there via message boards. We can also provide materials like handouts, tutorials, videos, these kind of materials that you can drop right into your e-course or maybe in the specific library resources module. Anything along those lines, we are happy to work with you and provide. We've developed a lot of video tutorials and a lot of handouts that cover a lot of things that can help supplement any sort of library instruction that we do for your class. Next up, this is research consultations and chat. Obviously, we have a lot of ways in which we can help students directly. There is our library chat service, which is available via our website, where we can help students like locate books, get started on research, and answer a number of questions for your students. Basically, that is sort of our first line of defense with handling research topics. Of course, the more robust way of answering students' questions is through a one-on-one research consultation, which we can handle via in person once we get into the fall, or via virtual Zoom consults as well. And what these are basically a student comes in, they ask for help with getting started on their research. Maybe they saw one of us in one of our instruction sessions that we do for your students. They will come seek us out, and maybe we can work with them more closely on developing those topics or locating those resources. Obviously, we know from experience that many students come out of secondary schools maybe not having asked to do the level of research that they will at college. That is why, and many times, students have their English 1010 and 1020 classes where they can start to learn these new research skills. But obviously, one class that we do, that a librarian comes in, can sometimes not be enough for some students, and we are happy to work with them, or any student or faculty if they're having trouble finding resources, if they maybe I missed something, or they're just having a difficulty locating anything. We are always available, from the freshmen all the way up through dissertating students. I've worked with a number of PhD students locating resources for their dissertations and many other ways. Again, see my new graduate student orientation video for me to talk about some of the things that I've done with graduate students particularly. But all of these services can be accessed by the link below, memphis.edu/library/help, or you can just go to the main library website, click on Ask a Librarian, and that is the easiest way to find us for research consultations and chats. Next up, I have to talk about the Center for Writing and Communication. While the CWC is not part of the library, its physical location is in the library, on the first floor in the Library Commons. It's off to the right as you enter the building. And what this is, it is while myself, and many other research librarians will work with students to help develop those research topics, we are not writing consultants or writing coaches. Now, of course, some of us do hold writing degrees. I do not, but some of us in the research services do have English training, but we are not an editing service. We are not writing consultants. We are not trained to work with students on this. However, that is where the CWC comes in. It is staffed, run by students in the English and Communications department, and it is if once students get the research, if they need help structuring papers, maybe learning what sort of grammatical mistakes and errors they typically make, or just developing better writing skills, that is what the CWC is here for. However, it is not a line-by-line editing service. Students cannot go to the CWC, hand them their paper, and then wait around and for someone to mark up their paper with what's good, what's bad, what needs work. No. What the CWC is designed for is it's to develop writing skills. A consultant from the CWC will sit down with the student, go over maybe what is not working with the paper. Maybe they think they need to refine their argument, refine the research question. Maybe they need to restructure the paper, or just noticing like you typically do this, maybe you typically do that, and you need to work on this. Try this. That is what the CWC is there for. It's not an editing service, but it is designed to help students become better writers. And that can be accessed memphis.edu/CWC. They are currently closed for physical in-person consults. I do not know the status for the fall. I'm recording this in June of 2021, and I've yet to hear anything, but I hope, the expectation is that it will be reopened for their physical location by the fall. However, their consultants are always available via an online tutoring platform called Upswing. And that is how they've been handling their consultations since March of last year. Next, I mentioned technology. I kept mentioning technology. Let me introduce you to the sandbox. The sandbox, which actually the pictures and layout of the space will be completely different when we reopen this space in the summer. The sandbox is our technology creator space. It has 3D printers, Glowforge laser cutter, a Cricut vinyl cutter, also cuts other sort of materials. It has technology available for checkout like cameras, audio recorders. We also have other sort of spaces within the sandbox for just holding technology-based classes or sessions to learn technology and programming and software, these kind of things. It's a very versatile space with a lot of tools and sometimes toys, as I like to call them, because it's just fun. It's a lot of fun stuff to play around with. And all of this is available to all students and faculty to utilize. If you are interested in possibly assigning a more alternative project for maybe a more creative art design based project for your class, think of how the students can utilize the tools in the sandbox. Like I said, all these are available for students. Some can be checked out, but not all of them. We also do have some video games that are available for checkout there, including systems and games. But it's basically designed to supplement a variety of projects that teachers can assign, and also the skills that students can learn while at the university. Really do consider what else might be useful for your class. We do also have some studio spaces for audio, video recording, along with a presentation space that can be used for students to practice giving their presentations for classes. If you do want to know more, please just use the link below to read all about the sandbox. For most of the advanced equipment, we do have online tutorials that students and anyone who is interested in using them has to go through and pass to be authorized to use the equipment. Interlibrary loan is probably one of the best services that the library can provide. If there is a book, if there is an article, if there is some sort of material that you or your students need, utilize interlibrary loan. Don't go pay for it. As I always tell students, you've already paid enough money to be here. Don't pay more money than you have to for things. So the interlibrary loan is here to get stuff for you. It is, if it is an article that we can get digitally, usually we can turn around requests for that in about 24 to 48 hours or 2 working days, if not earlier. I've sometimes had a request in the morning that I've placed early in the morning be fulfilled by later that day. Don't always expect that. Some things do take longer. Of course, there's a physical book that does need to be shipped to us that will take longer to get here. But this is why you should also be encouraging students to always start researching early, because there are a lot of things out there that they might find that they want. However, it can sometimes take a while to get here. So do encourage your students to start researching early. And if anyone does need assistance, students need assistance placing these requests, we are available to help kind of walk through. But the process is pretty seamless. And we do have videos and tutorials on how to place these requests pretty seamlessly. Again, these are resources that you can find. You can ask us to provide you links that then you can embed in your online course shells for your classes. Special collections and government publications. So on the 4th floor of McWhorter Library is our special collections library, and on the 1st floor is our government publications library. While these are not related, they do point to our 2 special or unique or distinctive collections that are kind of held apart from the rest of our regular materials. Government publications, obviously the U.S. government is, I think, the largest single publisher in the entire world. Anything that the government publishes is immediately in the public domain and free to use. And at the University of Memphis, as an official federal depository library, receives a copy either physically or digitally of everything that the U.S. government publishes, including Supreme Court cases, congressional records, reports out of the many offices. If it's published by the U.S. government and not classified, we have a copy of it. So that is always a resource that is utilized. Now, I will say government publications do use a very special call number system that I still struggle with at times, but our government publication librarians are available to help you, your students, myself, navigate their stacks. Special collections are very special. These are rare books, archival materials, sometimes just objects. It's part museum, part library, part the coolest space in the library. They have artifacts, they have books, they have the collections of distinguished people. And with these usually are primary source materials that students can utilize to really bring alive a paper. So do think about taking your class for a special collections tour. They are always happy to host classes. They're happy to work with you to design what materials will be on display for your students to interact with. Despite what you might think, these are not these are, for the most part, objects that are designed to be utilized, interacted with, books that are designed to be physically turned pages. They're not just under glass. These are artifacts that, for the most part, there are some things that they ask you not to touch or to only be handled by their staff. But your students can interact with most of them. Now, right now, Special Collections is closed and is basically open by appointment only. Again, I do not have the latest I hear is that they should be reopened for the fall along with the rest of the library. However, again, I'm recording this in June. A lot can change between June and August, and check back. But if you do have any questions, you can direct them to the Special Collections librarians. The links are below, memphis.edu/library/special-collections. And think about reaching out to them if you, especially if you teach a more upper level advanced course. See what they have that your students might be interested in, that might spark ideas for papers. The big thing to think about with anything with the library is how can these resources enhance your students' experience and enhance their output, their research-based output, be it a paper, some sort of project presentation, what have you. The library is here to not only provide the research skills in the books, but also to enhance their products for your class, and hopefully in the process make them more enjoyable to watch, read, grade, whatever. And a lot of these resources are not utilized as much as they should. So we do ask, reach out to a research librarian or research and instructional librarian and see how we can assist in enhancing the things that the products that your students create for your courses. So with that, that is my presentation. Thank you for your time. If you do wish to contact me, my information is on the screen, and that is not a misprint. There is no A in my email address. As you've probably experienced, the emails that are assigned by the University of Memphis can sometimes get creative with their vowel drops. So, but anyway, feel free to reach out to me at any point. I will answer your email as quickly as possible. Or if you are around McWhorter Library during the day, and you can always ask if I'm around, I'm happy to meet with you, make an appointment with me. You can always also make a research consultation appointment with me and just say you want to talk to me, meet with me about information literacy and instruction in your classroom. I'm happy to work with any of you, and thank you and have a good day.